What's up, you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So before we get into today's actual video, I do want to mention the fact that my house is very haunted. Before I started recording this video, I was sitting in my room, and keep in mind, I have my mic. My mic is plugged into a set of headphones so that I can hear myself when I'm talking in case I'm making mistakes or if I'm peeking the mic, something like that. And I heard the very distinct sound of my door opening, like the doorknob being turned and the door being pushed open. My husband was sitting on the bed, and the door did not open. I almost dropped an F-bomb. The door did not open. There was nobody there. Nobody came to peek in. So that was weird. And then as we were talking about that, something like really loud thudded right next to me, like right in my desk chair, and there's nothing on the ground, nothing knocked over, nothing on the floor that was not on the floor before. So that's weird, and it's haunted, and I probably will be doing a little mini story time in the future of a bunch of weird haunted stuff that's happened to me. So look forward to that. Unfortunately, today's video has nothing to do with ghosts and everything to do with kind of TikTok, but also kind of not. So this video was initially supposed to be about I was gonna group a bunch of like TikTok trends together, and none of them were really coming together as like their own type of video. Like I wanted to do 3 of them in one, but they were all just sort of being weird and not really what I was looking for. I wasn't happy with the results of any of them until I landed on this one-line challenge. So if you haven't heard of it before, essentially you just have to draw an illustration with one line. Never pick up your pen or pencil or whatever drawing material it is that you are using to create the drawing. And I have done this before. I did it in high school a couple of times, and I hated it every single time because it was always for assignments where we were meant to be doing like life drawing with it. I know, for example, I did one that was like a ballet slipper, and it looks like a hot mess. It's not good. It wasn't fun. So I thought it would be fun to challenge myself again now that I'm out of high school, and you know, not having to adhere to assignment rules and just being able to create whatever I want within the confines of that challenge. And so getting into the actual experience of that, it is not as intimidating as I thought it would be. Again, I was expecting it to be a not very pleasant experience. I was also expecting it to take kind of a long time. However, that did not happen. It was actually pretty quick and really swift, and I really did like the end result. However, as I was working on it, I did kind of feel like my hand was sort of like clamming up, if that makes sense. Like my wrist was super tight, my fingers were super tight, and the overall like sketch, the illustration only lasted, I think, like less than 30 seconds. So that was really strange. But yeah, like I said, it came out a lot nicer than I was expecting. I could definitely tell that it was a face, and it wasn't as scary as I was expecting it to be as well. I know the example that I was mainly thinking of, I don't remember if I've already mentioned it, but I saw Lavender Town do this in one of her TikToks, one of her TikTok trend videos, and she fully embraced the fact that her end result was a little bit scary. Like, I know the mouth on it, like it went across the whole face, and it was really cool, and that's also what I was expecting mine to look like. However, I don't think that it ended up looking like that. A lot of the connecting lines were more so towards the eyes and the side of the face rather than at the bottom with the mouth, so that was really cool that I was able to think about how to maneuver it that way. I could also tell that it definitely was my style. I don't feel like it changed how I draw things very much. It still definitely looked familiar to me, which was also really cool. And the one thing I will say that it changed was that I ended up making shapes that I normally wouldn't. I think the best example of that would be around the eyes. Like, I made them a lot, they're not like that almond shape. There was kind of like a wave to them, if that makes sense. They were a lot pointier, a lot more angular, and the same thing happened with the nose as well. It was like a really interesting shape that I've seen in some styles, I think. I don't really know exactly how to describe them. I've seen them on Instagram, but I can't remember who the creator that I'm thinking of is. It starts with an R, so if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, so yeah, I definitely don't draw normally, or no, wow. I definitely don't draw noses like that normally, but it was really cool to see how doing that challenge brought that out in my style. But again, overall, like I said, I did like how it turned out. And yeah, okay, so getting into the painting portion, because again, like I said, the one line portion of it did not take as long as I was expecting it to, so I thought I would give myself the additional challenge to paint it as well. At first, what I was going to do was I was going to use the original like sketch, the one line part, as like the base of the painting, and then I was going to go over it and refine it and, you know, fine tune it so it looks a little bit closer to my style, a little bit more how I would particularly style things. However, I decided that I would only clean it up a tiny bit, so get rid of the connecting lines in the eyebrows and the nose and stuff like that. And also, instead of like changing them to completely look my style, I would just emphasize the shapes that I made instead. So for example, again, I left the nose exactly how it would. You can see a little bit that I tried to make it into more my style, but by the end of it, I was like, no, I'm gonna keep how it looks in the original because I think it's a really interesting shape, and I think it really, you know, fits the rest of the face better than my style would. So that's what I decided to go with. And I also thought, as an additional challenge, I would paint this with a limited color palette. So at first I was getting kind of like amethyst vibes from Steven Universe, because I did end up with a super like purpley palette, which was my downfall because I was getting really frustrated because the darkest tone seemed really out of place. It was very cool toned, but all of the other purples in the palette were very warm. And it was really frustrating because if I used any of the other colors in the palette to tone it down, I just ended up blending one of the other colors in the palette. So for example, I know that I took that bright blue and I mixed it with that sort of yellowish tan color, and I just ended up with one of the purples that I already had from the other palette. So yeah, that was really annoying. I was also super desperate at one point for some hue variation because something about all of the purple was really getting on my nerves. I think purple, honestly, is one of my least favorite colors. It used to be my favorite. Now, I don't like it as much. And I think this definitely emphasized that because I was just staring at so many purples and begging for like just one other color, and the yellow was too close in tonal value for it to have made any difference. It might as well have just been another purple. So yeah, I was really desperate for some hue variation, but mixing any of the other colors, all of the colors, if I mixed that lavender pinkish color, if I mixed that yellow, if I mixed that weird blue, if I blended it, it just blended one of the other already existing colors. So that was really killing me, and I ended up having to cheat just a little bit by using some layer styles. So I did throw in a little bit of a multiply and I believe some add in at the very end for some rim lighting. I've been adding a lot of rim lighting to my illustrations lately. I think like every time I feel like something isn't finished or that it just does not look rendered enough, even if I've already blended it a lot and done a lot of shading, I just throw on some rim lighting, set it to add, and then like blend it a little bit. And I think it looks really pretty, and I think it does really help save some of the illustrations that I do not like as much. So yeah, cheating helped a little bit because it did add a little bit more shading, but it did not save me from that hue issue. But yeah, so this is how it turned out. I have to say that while I did have fun challenging myself in regards to the actual bit of the challenge, which was the one line portion, I'm not too hype about the end result, which I think, again, mainly is due to the color palette. I really liked the result of the one line, but when it came to the painting, that purple was just not cutting it for me, even though I really wanted it to work, because I did initially like the palette. I thought the colors were really nice, but working with it was not so nice. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like the end result? Are you vibing with the purple? What color palette would you give her, perhaps? Are you personally going to try out this one line challenge? I would certainly recommend it. However, painting, just paint it how you normally would. Don't do this to yourself. But yeah, if you see this on Instagram with a different color palette, no, you did not. Anyways, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other social media linked down in the description. I promise this next video is going to be a lot more interesting. Yeah, I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, Elise Thompson, Duran, Mandy, Schleeps, Puppy Paws, Created by Twins, and my newest patron, Trash Panda. You guys are the best. I love you all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!